Okay, so you think you've got a grasp on a major story, right? And then suddenly, something shifts.
Mm.
The federal trial involving Sean Diddy Combs. Well, it's taken a turn I don't think anyone really saw coming.
No, definitely not. And the name that's suddenly part of the conversation is Prince.
Prince. Yes, that Prince. It's kind of mind-blowing.
It really is. It just adds this completely unexpected layer to everything that's unfolding. A figure like Prince, so iconic, so famously private, for his name to come up now, it just, it sparks so many questions.
Absolutely. And the chatter is specifically about things that might have happened, allegedly, at his home, Paisley Park, which is legendary in its own right.
Right. We all know Diddy through these huge famous parties, but the idea of one potentially happening at Prince's place, which was like his fortress of solitude.
Yeah, that's a twist, isn't it?
It paints a really strange picture. You've got Jason Lee talking about being at a party at Prince's house, and then other reports that Prince actually, like, avoided Diddy in his own club.
Huh. So there was maybe some kind of tension there already,
Hmm.
or just distance.
It suggests a specific dynamic, definitely. Maybe Prince kept him at arm's length.
Okay, let's dig into this a bit.
Hmm.
This idea that Prince, famously private, notoriously smart, always seemed one step ahead, might have actually recorded stuff happening at his own parties. Does that track?
Given how hard Prince fought for control over his music, his image, his whole narrative, it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility, is it? He was meticulous about owning his masters, so maybe extending that kind of control, or at least documentation, to his own private space,
Yeah.
it kind of fits his MO, doesn't it?
It does, weirdly enough. So then you start thinking, what if he did record something? Unintentionally, maybe? Or maybe intentionally. Was he known for, like, kicking tabs on people?
That's the big speculation now. Could there be recordings? Where would they even be? And could they possibly contain anything relevant to this Diddy trial? The implications are suddenly huge.
Yeah, the stakes just went way up.
Because if something did surface, and it backed up any of these allegations, wow, that would be a massive development. And it makes you wonder, what did Prince know, if anything, about what was supposedly going on?
Right. Okay, let's shift gears slightly, but still related. The trial itself. Even the jury selection was making headlines. Michelle Williams, Robert Downey Jr., Mike Myers, Lauren London.
Yeah, that was wild. Seeing those names pop up in the jury pool, it just highlights how massive this case is, the public interest.
Totally. It underlines the level of fame involved and how serious these accusations are.
Exactly.
And while this Prince angle is fascinating, you got to remember how this all started, right? Cassie Ventura's lawsuit. Her claims were deeply disturbing, including that Diddy's own staff knew about some terrible things.
Her initial filing laid out some very serious allegations, And the part about the staff's alleged awareness is pretty significant.
How so?
Well, the idea wasn't just that they might have seen things, but that they were potentially involved afterwards, like delivering gifts after alleged assaults. It paints a picture of a whole system potentially enabling the behavior.
And these are the people, the staff, who might actually testify now, right? Like the head of security, the assistant. People who supposedly had very strong reactions to what they saw.
Their testimony could be absolutely critical. First-hand accounts from inside his circle. That could either strongly support or completely refute Cassie's claims. It carries a lot of weight.
Okay. Then there's Harve Pierre. He's connected to a different lawsuit, but similar allegations, right? Luring, assault, involving him and Diddy.
Correct. His name coming up in a separate but parallel case adds another layer. It hints at a possible pattern, potentially extending beyond just Cassie's specific accusations.
In Young Miami, who was romantically involved with Diddy, she's been mentioned too. Something about possibly transporting substances. Her role seems a bit murky.
Yeah, her alleged involvement, even if it wasn't direct participation in the core allegations, still places her within that inner circle. It points to this wider network who might have known things. What exactly her role might have been, if any, is still unclear, but her name is definitely out there.
Dallas Austin's name has also surfaced. He was close with Kim Porter, Diddy's ex, who passed away.
Right, and there have always been lingering questions around Kim Porter's sudden death. Dallas Austin was a very close friend of hers, so the thinking is maybe he knows something. It's another thread people are watching.
And going back even further, there was a police complaint from 2007. Lorraine Gibson, alleging Diddy threatened her on the set of Making the Band.
That report, if it's accurate, suggests a potential history of aggressive behavior going back quite a way. It could establish context.
Speaking of Making the Band, Aubrey O'Day and Don Richard, they've both been very public about their experiences.
Accusations of inappropriate behavior, assault. Dawn Richards specifically described degrading treatment, crazy rehearsal demands, and even said she saw physical altercations involving Cassie.
Wow. That's pretty direct.
It absolutely echoes the themes of power imbalance and alleged mistreatment that run through this whole thing.
Yeah.
And her claim of witnessing violence against Cassie connects directly to the current trial's core issues.
Even Michael B. Jordan's name popped up briefly. Something about a rumored flirtation with Cassie years ago. That felt a bit random.
It did seem a little out of left field, but its inclusion in the legal filings was likely about providing context for Diddy's alleged jealousy or possessiveness within his relationship with Cassie. Not an accusation against Jordan himself, obviously.
Right. Okay. Then the Kid Cudi incident. That one is really dark. Cassie dated him briefly. Diddy apparently found out and got incredibly angry.
And then Kid Cudi's car gets bombed.
Yeah. It's a terrifying sequence.
But
it is important, right, that Cassie apparently never said Diddy explicitly confessed to ordering it.
That's a really crucial distinction, yes. The timing is obviously incredibly suspicious, right after Diddy finds out about them. But Cassie's account, as reported, stops short of saying, Diddy told me he did it. So it suggests intense jealousy, possible retaliation, but leaves that final confirmation ambiguous.
Okay, let's circle back to Prince again. Forget the party rumors for a second. Just his whole stance in the music industry was unique. Funding his own stuff, keeping ownership. That was pretty radical.
Oh, completely. Prince's fight for artistic independence was legendary. He battled the labels, especially Warner Brothers, tooth and nail over artist rights and control. It defined him as much as his music did, almost. He knew the value of his work and wasn't letting go.
Which makes his death even more jarring, I guess.
Right.
The reports of him being hospitalized for flu symptoms, that weird comment about waiting a few days for prayers.
Yeah, and then being found unresponsive in an elevator at Paisley Park. The official cause: accidental fentanyl overdose from counterfeit Vicodin.
And that's the part that never quite sat right with people, has it?
Not really, especially given everything we know about him. His clean lifestyle, veganism, supposedly didn't touch drugs or alcohol, focused on wellness.
Exactly. It just seems like such a contradiction. An accidental overdose of fentanyl for Prince. And when you think about his huge battles with the industry machine, the timing, the questions, it just fuels speculation.
It does. His clashes with the labels were so public and so fierce. The idea that someone so protective of himself and his art could just accidentally take counterfeit pills, it understandably raises doubts for a lot of people.
And then you hear that Jason Lee story again, about Diddy making some kind of veiled threat at Prince's birthday party, when there were supposedly rumors they might do business together.
Yeah, that anecdote suggests something. An undercurrent of tension, a power play. Prince reportedly tried to avoid Diddy, remember? And Diddy was potentially looking to get deeper into the very industry Prince was fighting against.
It feels like they were on totally different paths, maybe even a collision course.
Yep.
Prince resisting the machine, Diddy maybe looking to partner with it.
It's a fascinating contrast.
And then you hear Prince reportedly told his sister, Tika, that he was in trouble, that he didn't feel safe near the end.
That account from Tika is deeply unsettling. It adds this whole other dimension to his final days and absolutely fuels the idea that maybe his death wasn't as straightforward as the official report suggests.
Plus, she said he'd been preparing her for his death for like 2 years.
Yeah, that detail is chilling. It suggests he had some kind of premonition or felt he was in danger for a long time. It definitely makes you pause and think in this new context.
Okay, so back in the courtroom now. Cassie's cross-examination sounds like it was rough. The defense bringing up past substance use, asking why she stayed, showing affectionate texts. What's the goal there?
Standard defense tactic, really. Try to undermine her credibility, suggest her motives aren't pure, create doubt in the jury's mind. Showing friendly texts is meant to counter the narrative of constant abuse and fear.
But her response about trauma bonding seemed pretty powerful, explaining how survivors cope, mentioning therapy, her new relationship.
That concept of trauma bonding is so important for understanding these situations. It explains why someone might stay in or return to an abusive relationship. It's not logical from the outside, but it's a documented psychological response. Her explaining that gives crucial context to actions that might otherwise seem confusing.
Yeah, it reframes it. And that detail about the unanswered FaceTime call from her husband on a night she said was terrifying. That hits hard.
It does. It makes the alleged fear feel very immediate, very real. A specific, relatable moment of isolation.
Meanwhile, outside the courthouse, things are apparently getting heated. Protests, clashes.
Yeah, it shows how deeply this case resonates, how polarizing it is when you have these kinds of allegations against someone so famous. Lots of strong emotions on all sides.
When you step back, this whole situation feels like it's about so much more than just this one trial, doesn't it? It touches on fame, power, control, the dark side of the music industry.
Absolutely. It forces you to look at the dynamics at play, the systems that might allow alleged abuses to happen, especially involving powerful men and often women trying to navigate that industry.
So where does that leave us? This Prince connection is just hanging there now. Could he really have had some crucial piece of information? Is it even conceivable his death could somehow be linked to all this?
Those are the million-dollar questions right now, aren't they? It's this bizarre, unexpected intersection of one icon's legacy and another's current legal battle. It creates this layer of mystery nobody saw coming.
It's just incredibly complex. So many threads, so many allegations, so many unanswered questions, and the trial is still going. Feels like we're far from the end of this.
No doubt. It's a stark reminder, really, that behind the glossy public image of celebrities, even legends, there can be incredibly complicated, sometimes hidden stories and power struggles going on.
Definitely something to keep thinking about. Thanks for unpacking all this with me.
My pleasure. Until next time.